In the West, when we think of ghosts, we think of haunted houses, jump scares, and Halloween. A time of fear, fun, and candy. But what if a culture's most important ghost story wasn't about being scared at all? What if it was a story of profound love? A story about family bonds so strong they could reach into the darkest corners of the afterlife. This is the story of a son who journeyed to hell itself, not to fight demons, but to save the one person he loved most, his mother. This is the epic origin of the Ghost Festival. Our story begins not with a ghost, but with a hero. His name was Maudgalyayana, known in China as Mulian. He wasn't just any man, he was one of the Buddha's chief disciples, a monk of immense virtue and power. Through years of meditation, he had unlocked supernatural abilities, including the heavenly eye, which allowed his consciousness to travel across the realms of existence. But despite his enlightenment, one very human concern weighed on his heart, the fate of his deceased mother. In life, he had loved her dearly, and a core teaching he followed was that of filial piety, a deep, unwavering respect and duty towards one's parents. He had to know she was at peace. He focused his mind and sent his spirit searching. He soared through the heavens, where gods and celestial beings lived in blissful peace. She wasn't there. He swept across the human world, through bustling cities and quiet villages. She wasn't there either. Driven by a growing sense of dread, he descended further. Down, past the realm of vengeful spirits, down into the deepest, most desolate plane of the afterlife, the realm of the hungry ghosts. And there, he found her. This wasn't hellfire and brimstone. It was a place of a far more intimate, agonizing torture. The souls here were consumed by an eternal, gnawing hunger and a burning thirst they could never quench. And among them was his mother. She was a gaunt skeletal shadow, her eyes filled with unending suffering. In life, she had been a greedy and selfish woman, hoarding wealth and refusing to help the poor. Now, in the afterlife, the cosmic law of karma had delivered her fate to forever crave the sustenance she had once denied others. Seeing his mother in such torment, Mulian's heart shattered. He was a being of immense power. Surely, he could save her. He used his abilities to conjure a beautiful bowl of rice and offered it to her. His mother, weeping with gratitude, took the bowl. But the moment the food touched her lips, it burst into a searing column of flame, turning to ash. Mulian was horrified. His love, his power, his devotion, it was all useless. He couldn't break the laws of karma alone. In Buddhist thought, karma isn't a punishment from a judge, but a natural consequence, like gravity. Her suffering was the direct result of her own actions, and the debt was too heavy for even one enlightened son to pay. Utterly defeated, Mulian's spirit returned to his body. He ran to his teacher, the Buddha, and collapsed at his feet, tears streaming down his face. "My power is nothing," he cried. "How can I possibly save my mother?" The Buddha looked upon his disciple with compassion. He told Mulian that he was right. The negative karma of one person is too profound for any single individual to erase. But, the Buddha said, the combined virtue of many pure souls can. He gave Mulian specific instructions. He was to wait until the 15th day of the 7th lunar month. This was a special day, marking the end of the monk's summer retreat. On this day, the collective spiritual merit of the entire monastic community would be at its absolute peak. The Buddha instructed him, on that day, prepare offerings of the finest food, fruits, and robes for the monks. As they accept your offerings, ask them to channel the immense power of their collective virtue and prayers, not just for your mother, but for all the suffering souls in the underworld. The message was profound. Salvation wouldn't come from a single hero's supernatural power, but from the combined compassion of a community. Mulian did exactly as he was told. And as the monks offered their prayers, a brilliant light pierced the darkness of the underworld. The chains of karma shattered. Mulian's mother was freed from her torment, and she was reborn into a peaceful, heavenly realm. Overjoyed and eternally grateful, Mulian asked the Buddha if this powerful act of communal compassion could be used by all people to save their ancestors in the future. The Buddha agreed, and thus, the 15th day of the 7th month was established as the Ghost Festival, a day for the living to honor the dead, to ease the suffering of lost souls, and to remember the power of family. And this ancient story is the key to understanding everything about the festival today. Those offerings you see left on the street, they aren't for just anyone. They are for the hungry ghosts, the lonely spirits without families, a city-wide act of compassion so no soul suffers as Mulian's mother did. The paper money and belongings people burn, it's a continuation of Mulian's offering, sending resources to ancestors in the afterlife. And the grand family feasts? They are held because it's believed the gates of the underworld are open, and the spirits of ancestors return home to visit. So, the Ghost Festival is not about being afraid of ghosts. It's about welcoming them home. It's a powerful reminder that the deepest darkness can be overcome, not by magic or might, but by the unbreakable bond between a child and a parent. It is the legacy of a son who walked through hell, all for the love of his mother. What traditions does your culture have to honor those who have passed? Share in the comments below. Subscribe to Tales from the Eastern Scroll.